We have an intriguing AFC North rematch in this Week 16 Saturday special as the Cincinnati Bengals fly over to Pittsburgh, take on the Steelers in this crucial matchup between these two teams. Bengals currently are 8-6 after a wild Saturday victory against the Minnesota Vikings, while the Pittsburgh Steelers are 7-7 after a just kind of, I would say, a tough. I'll say tough. That's the word I'll use. Loss to the Indianapolis Colts, who they also played on Saturday as well. I say that this is an intriguing matchup because the first time we saw Jake Browning get his start was against the Pittsburgh Steelers in week – shoot, I'm blanking on it. Week 12. No, 16, 17, 15, 14, 13, 12. Sorry, ESPN doesn't have the numbers on there. And that was also interesting because that was the first game that the Steelers – did not play, had their offense without their now fired offense coordinator, Matt Canada. And it was a very interesting time because you see the Steelers put up 400 yards plus offense for the first time in a long time. And the Bengals are like, yeah, no, they need Joe Burrow. This is it. And both teams couldn't have gone in more of an opposite direction. Now we don't even know who the Steelers quarterback is going to be for this Saturday game. It's probably going to be Mason Rudolph now. And Jake Browning is on top of the world after leading a comeback victory this Saturday night. Ryan, let's start with Jake Browning and the Bengals. What is your overall thoughts on his performance and this team as a whole?
I mean, what he's been able to do and step in with has been amazing. To be fair, he's throwing to a very talented wide receiver room, and that definitely helps. But I mean, he's throwing with good anticipation. He did get bailed out a couple times by T. Higgins on some jump balls, specifically the touchdown that T. Higgins caught where he just went up and said, "I'm more of a man than you" to the Vikings defensive back and just reached over the goal line. But they have good receivers. The one thing, they have struggled to run the ball a little bit lately, specifically against the Vikings. They didn't run the ball very well at all. So that'll be one thing to monitor. But this offense, I mean, I don't want to say that they haven't missed a beat because obviously has been a step back from when Joe Burrow was leading this offense. But I mean, they're still a playoff team. I think with Jake Browning, with how good this defense could be in this wide receiver room. The one thing to watch is I'm curious how bad the shoulder injury is for Jamar Chase.
So that's what looking at right now, just off the notable injuries, he is considered day-to-day. I believe I did read, if I read it correctly, he had a separated shoulder. They did also lose DJ Reader to a torn quadricep, and then also DJ Ivey, the rookie quarterback, tore his ACL as well. All that was in the fourth quarter, or the first quarter. Jamar Chase, I'm trying to remember when
that was in the fourth quarter.
That one wasn't, because I saw he came back in and played. So
yeah,
that status.
Well, he played one play and then came back out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So his status will definitely need to be monitored. But I think losing DJ Reader is going to be huge because he was stat-wise, he's not going to blow you out of the park. But in general, though, he was like just a big defensive tackle, offensive line, defensive tackle that gave offensive linemen fits, especially even in the running games. He definitely helped clog up a lot of that area. So I'm curious how that is going to affect them moving forward, especially at such a crucial time. And even now going up against Steelers offensive line, who is just not good and has struggled. So
yeah,
they would need any help just to make sure that this offense is as poor as possible. But to your point, though, Jake Browning hasn't missed a beat. I think the offensive line, has played extremely well. I think the emergence of Chase Brown has helped kind of with the overall dynamicness of this offense. You don't have to rely on Joe Mixon out of the backfield. I think they've been utilizing their tight ends really well. And then T. Higgins is playing out of his mind right now. He's playing for a massive contract, which seems like he's going to get if he keeps on going in this offseason, whether it be with the Bengals or with somebody else. So the Bengals definitely, I know we talked about it a couple weeks ago after that Steelers game, like, sorry, Bengals. It's like we started talking about the possibilities of, like, if you get a top 10 pick, like, oh, imagine you get Malik Neighbors, you could replace T. Higgins, yada, yada, yada. Yeah. And now it's like, shoot, man.
You have a shot at the playoffs.
Oh, definitely a shot at the playoffs. Right now, they're currently are they the 5th seed right now? What are they at? No, they're the 6th seed. But they play the Browns in week 18. So anything could honestly happen here. And so now let's shift gears, though, to the Steelers. And I'm not going to be nearly as positive about the Steelers' outlook on the season. And it's just
they suck.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm kind of joking there, but like,
No, you're not.
well,
I think Steelers fans would probably agree with you. It's just got to be super frustrating because they've made these, especially offensive picks, over the past couple of years. Going with Najee Harris, then Pat Freiermuth, and you get George Pickens, and you get Kenny Pickett. Actually, even then with the first pick overall in 2022, and then this year you go and get Broderick Jones, so there's just going to be some time. But it's just let's say even like the Houston Texans and C.J. Stroud, they didn't have the record that they had right now, but they're putting up the numbers, like the yards. You can see the explosiveness. Like, okay, there's like some good things, so optimism, looking forward to the future as they get older and everything like that. This team just you get none of that. Just not any productivity. And I know it's Mr. Trubisky. I think his time is done. I think it looks like they're going to go with Mason Rudolph, who came into the game in the fourth quarter. Want to see what extra he brings to the table. I'm curious. I'm curious to hear your thoughts. I know I've been talking. I think I interrupted you there.
I mean, probably not much. I actually think it's probably maybe a little bit of a step back because I don't think he is I think the same level of passer, but he just doesn't have any the athleticism that Mitch Trubisky brings to the table. So it'll be interesting. I mean, sometimes a change is just needed. Like we kind of saw that, I think, with the Raiders, like moving on from Josh McDaniels. Like, I don't know X's and O's wise if Antonio Pierce is that much better than Josh McDaniels, but I just think they needed a change to
presence.
And I don't think that's going to be as much. Like, I don't think it's going to have that big of an impact, really. I still think the problem is this offensive line is no good. These wide receivers, they take plays off. They don't try as hard as they should, especially when they know they're not getting the ball. Then they just kind of don't participate. And I think that they have some locker room issues there.
Yeah.
And I have no sources saying that. I just from the outside looking in, I just think that they look like a team that is not getting along in the locker room. They don't look like they care about playing for one another, and that it's just. That's what it looks like to me.
Well, there definitely been comments, and it's like not to just single him out, like I've seen other, but just the ones that come to my mind is like Najee Harris has said stuff like that.
Yeah,
where he's like just trying to protect himself, type of deals.
Yeah,
and honestly though, I can kind of understand. At the end of the day, it is also business. If you're going to be on a team that's going to perform like this week in and week out, and he's trying to keep making money, like I kind of get it. So it's going to be unique. There's something about, especially AFC North, because it definitely leans more towards traditional type football. So then to see a team like the Steelers, who just have that rich history, struggling like this is odd. You kind of want to see them keep fighting and everything. But it does make me curious, though. It's like I wouldn't be surprised if quarterback is on the table for them in this draft.
I think anything is.
It's going to be unique. Maybe not their first pick, but who knows where like Bo Nix is going to fall. Or even like if JJ McCarthy enters, or shoot, even like a Spencer Rattler, something like that, in that
like a later day two
type pick, just to bring in more competition. Also, too, on top of that, you're going to need a backup here because Mr. Trubisky's definitely not the guy. If you're going to go with Kenny Pickett, like you don't want Mitch Trubisky coming into games, no. So he's not going to provide any optimism. So who knows though? Who knows on the long term? They got to get through this game here. But let's get on to predictions, though. But before we do that, if you have not already, like, subscribe, and ring the bell to get notified whenever we create new content. Brian and I, we have one final goal for the year, and that is get to 2,333 subscribers. The reason why we chose that odd number is if we hit that number, we would have grown our channel and gotten 2,000 new unique subscribers to the channel within this calendar year. Currently sitting at about 2,204 as of the recording of this video. So any help is greatly appreciated. So like, subscribe, help us reach our goal, and join our community. Ryan, who do you have winning this game? And I have a feeling I already know who it is.
I'm going to go with the Cincinnati Bengals. I just think they're kind of the hot hand right now. And if there was such thing as a cold hand, it would be the Pittsburgh Steelers. They have lost their last three games. in like frustrating fashion. The loss to the Cardinals, they just got completely outclassed by a 2-win team. And then the loss to the Patriots gave up 21 first half points. And then the loss to the Colts, you get up, 13-3 or 13-0. And then you just like completely lay an egg in the rest of the game. Like and the Colts manhandled them for like the second, third, and fourth quarter. Like it wasn't even close. So
it was just overall a rough outing. The Colts team is good. I mean, I do like the Colts team, but I am also going to go with the Bengals as well. I think that the key factor to me is the Colts ran for over 107 rushing yards against them, and I think the Bengals actually have a kind of unique now sense with the addition of Chase Brown. I think that they can probably maybe continue that trend again as well. And now that Chase Brown is going to have 170 yards, but I think just a combination of Joe Mixon and Chase Brown, you have to watch that for both backs when they're in. You have to watch them catch the ball out of the backfield, which I think is going to open up opportunities.
Yeah. It's a nice 1-2 punch. I think Chase Brown really can spread out defenses with speed, whereas Joe Mixon can run through defenses with power.
Oh, yeah. And Chase Brown's so quick. But he is like the second fastest.
Yeah, he ran like 23.01 miles an hour on that screen, which is
only
crazy.
23. Gosh, I can do that in my sleep. My car goes that fast. All right. But yeah, I'm going to go with the Bengals in this one.
Yeah. I just think they're the better team. So let's go ahead and wrap this up here. If you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe and help Ty and I reach that goal of getting to 2,333 subscribers. While you're down there, leave a comment on who you think is going to come out ahead in this AFC North matchup. Is it going to be the Cincinnati Bengals? Is it going to be the Pittsburgh Steelers? And other than that, we will see you guys next time.